Good morning. We're at one of my favorite places, the Royal Botanical Gardens. We're in the main building here in Burlington. And oh boy, good morning to this little guy. He is up and at 'em. And we are talking about Under the Canopy, the rainforest, which is such a contrast to the environment that we live in right now, these sub-zero temperatures. But Jen, nice to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
What a great environment. This is so good. I love when you guys have your winter events because it's so good for families when there's nothing to do.
Yeah. So it's great to come in and come and visit the rainforest right here in our own backyard.
Yeah, so let's talk about the rainforest and why you guys decided to go with the rainforest this year as your feature.
Yeah, absolutely. So the rainforests are a habitat that provides homes to many, many different animals and plants. And of course, we're a botanical garden, so we like to talk about plants.
Sure, so it ties in perfectly.
It does. But there is a really strong connection as well in that some of the animals that make their home here at RBG also make their home in the rainforest.
Which is really hard to get your head around because that's on the other side of the world.
It is, yeah. So many of our birds that spend their summers here go down to the rainforest in the winter. So they need habitat in both places.
It's amazing to me. I don't blame them. As far as I'm concerned, if I went to the rainforest, I wouldn't come back here. Not for this temperature.
Well, I mean, we have pretty nice summers.
In the summers we do. They're brief, but they're good.
They are, yeah. So we do a lot of habitat conservation and restoration here at RBG to make good homes for those animals, and then they need the same thing on the other end. So
and then there's this guy, Jen.
There is.
Okay, so sometimes you say he's just snuggled up on this blanket, but he's been putting on a nice show for us today.
He has, yeah. Sometimes he moves around, but sloths do sleep a lot, and so we're lucky to see him moving today.
Good morning. So this is something so fascinating for people of all ages. I mean, I know Luke, my cameraman, and I, we couldn't wait to see him.
Yeah.
He's probably the star of the show, right?
He really is, yeah. So people want to come and hang out with a sloth. So he sleeps most of the time, but he's still super adorable, and we want folks to be able to come and enjoy, because we don't have animals like that here.
No, we did not get to see. Oh, yes, thank you. You were wonderful. You did a great job for us today. We say, often with animals, they sleep until we leave, and then they wake up.
That's
so
true.
That was really nice. So
true.
We have a lot to talk about.
We do.
We're going to come back. We're going to continue to tour around. Yeah. And just, again, the contrast and comparison of being in the rainforest and being in Hamilton and Burlington, Ontario, Canada. Yeah. And, a lot of lessons to learn, again, for kids and adults. Just, he's nodding off. We'll just let you go to sleep. We'll be back. Shh. Up and at 'em here at the RBG. I know there's probably some people that are a little concerned with this shot right now, but I'm back here with Jen, and we're under the canopy. We're talking about all the wonderful plants and creatures of the rainforest. And who's this little guy?
This is a carpet python, which is a beautiful snake. They've got these lovely, lovely markings on them. He's very active this morning.
Yes.
And this is one of the animals that you can see in our Animal Encounters program that is offered daily. And on weekends, we have one every hour, so everyone who comes to visit us can get a nice view of some of the creatures in the exhibit.
So this is part of the ticketed program where people can book in advance. Is that how
Yes.
it is? Okay.
Yeah, so we have time ticketing available for folks, and there are still tickets available for Family Day weekend.
Nice. Okay.
And so everyone who comes gets a chance to visit with some of the animals and see the sloth and see an Animal Encounters program as well.
You have a few different snakes here as well. We were looking earlier at the little bright fluorescent green one down there. So it's really nice because, again, obviously a lot of snakes in the rainforest, very different from some of the ones we see here.
Lots of the ones that are in the rainforest are quite a bit bigger. So we even have a couple of boa constrictors, which are quite large. And
he is active today.
They would be heavy, as opposed to this guy weighs a fair bit.
I'm sure if you're holding them long enough, it's like holding a little baby.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's really a great event for people to come in and learn how the rainforest works, right? Because it's something so different. The climate's completely different, and thus all of the creatures. And some of the most tiniest, most colorful little creatures are some of the most dangerous too, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You are on the move. He has somewhere to be apparently this morning. So we're going to come back here to the RBG. Tell us again quickly before we go how long this event is on for.
So we run until May 1st. So there's still lots of time, but
great.
we recommend getting your tickets soon.
Yes, absolutely. This is such a great event for families to come to and to learn a lot more about the rainforest. It's called Under the Canopy here at the RBG. He's coming for you, Luke. Look at this little guy. I'm back here with Jen at the RBG. Look at his little tongue. Oh my gosh. So what do we have here, Jen?
So this is a gecko, a New Caledonian giant gecko. So they're one of the larger geckos that we find, and fascinating little creatures. Now she is really, I'm not holding her, she's sticking to me because she's got these little sticky pads on her feet to hang on.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Now, are they, I mean, geckos in general are relatively kind of neutral, pretty safe little creatures. They don't like go around hurting anybody.
Not really, no.
No, that's not their main,
No, they're actually quite helpful. So they eat a lot of insects, and yeah, they're super fun. They're fascinating creatures.
Look at his little feet. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. So I was noticing here as we make our way around through this area. It's called Under the Canopy. It's at the RBG in Burlington. A lot to learn, right? Because it's kind of self-guided, and you can just really learn a lot about the environment and learn a lot about these little guys. So he can be up to a pound. Which is pretty big, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's a good size lizard. And we've got some larger lizards as well. We've got an iguana here too, and we'll see another larger reptile a little bit later. But they're really entertaining. We've got some tarantulas, we have a scorpion, and we've got some frogs and toads. So a lot of different creatures that you can come and see, in addition to Wicket, the sloth.
Wicket the sloth we were showing earlier, and he was kind of up and at 'em this morning, but sometimes he just sits there and sleeps, right?
Yeah, sloths sleep a lot, and that's partly why a lot of these particular animals are on display, because they're not super active. They don't need a whole lot of space, and they're really happy to help people learn about their kind.
Right. Now, when people need to book ahead, book in advance to get their tickets before they show up, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they can go online.
They can go online at rbg.ca, and you can find out about all the programming that's happening on our website, and book tickets as well. And tickets are available every hour, because there's only so much room that we've got in the exhibit space, so we want everyone to feel comfortable and have a great time while they visit us.
Yeah, and you guys do always such a great job with the environment. Like, you really feel like you're walking into this space, right? And it is kind of neat, as we were talking about the migration of the birds earlier, and how they're here and then they make their way to the rainforest, which is just absolutely fascinating. So we'll get into more detail about that. But again, this event runs all the way till May, so people have a great opportunity to get in with their families. And it's just such a nice learning experience. I know you've got places to be as well. Busy. We woke them all up this morning. Thanks, Jen. We'll be back here at the RBG. Good morning. We're back at the RBG here in Burlington. I'm here with Jen, and who do we have here, Jen?
This is a red-footed tortoise, which is a type of tortoise that lives in the rainforest. And we do talk a lot about turtles here at RBG, because we have 4 different types that make their home in our nature sanctuaries, and they're all species at risk. So we try and help people understand why they're so cool, and why we need to protect their habitat. And the same thing goes in the rainforest as well. We want to try and make choices that protect the rainforest to help creatures like this.
Well, I know my son has been attending RBG camps since he was little, summer camps and the Christmas, winter camps, and I know he learned so much about turtles because of this, and feeding all kinds of great creatures, even just our little chipmunks and squirrels and birds. So there's so much to learn here, but when you have these special installations, these features, on an area that we don't live in, like the rainforest, then we get to see, all kinds of interesting creatures and learn, like this guy sleeping up here. Who's this?
So this is an iguana, and they're a fascinating, fairly large lizard, and interestingly, they're invasive in some areas of the world where they've been introduced, but in their native habitat, they're fantastic to have there, and we want to try and protect their habitat and ours.
And that's the thing, education is so important, right? You know, as you noted earlier, because when people know, how can you help protect something you don't know anything about, right?
Yeah, and sometimes what you can do to help is a little counterintuitive. So, for example, we have been trying to do a lot of messaging recently about not feeding the animals in our nature sanctuaries, like the birds and chipmunks, because it's doing a little more harm than good, unfortunately.
Because they get used to it, right?
They do, and it helps to take away their natural behaviors, which then impacts the rest of the environment.
Right, they just sit around waiting for McDonald's French fries or something. But there's this guy, so he's just, now is this somebody that you have here at the RBG all the time, or how did you attain something like
So this is a part of the exhibit. So the exhibit that we are hosting Under the Canopy is produced by Little Ray's Nature Centers. And so all the animals here are cared for by a trained zookeeper.
Wonderful.
And
so they come for a little visit for a while?
they do, yeah. They'll
Great.
be here until May, and folks can come and visit us 7 days a week.
Awesome.
And get their tickets at rbg.ca.
Thank you, Jen, again, for all the information this morning. Such a great exhibit for everybody, from little ones all the way up to the older, because there's so much to learn. And already the doors open this morning, and it's busy in here. So
It is.
a really great exhibit to come and see, especially when it's so cold outside. That's it for now. Thanks, little guy.